Welcome to Film Feast, the show where two sister grill masters watch a movie, yap about it, and then make two recipes inspired by it. In today's episode, we're talking all about the 1989 classic, Pet Sematary.
One of my favorite movies of all time.
The original. They made one in 2019. We ain't here to talk about that one.
That one is terrible. That's all I'll say about it.
I gave that one like 20 minutes and I was like off.
Okay, so if you haven't seen Pet Sematary, the original is about exactly what it's called. It's about a pet cemetery, but it's not just any pet cemetery. It's a pet cemetery where if you bury people or animals in it, they come back evil.
Okay, plot incredible.
That's all you need to know.
It's got creepy kids. It has dead animals. It has like a weird, creepy but charismatic old man.
Yes.
This movie is everything.
On the surface, it seems like just a horror movie, but then it's got like multi-layers of like symbolism and lessons to be learned, and sometimes dead is better.
Classic
One of the
line.
most famous lines.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
honey, I am so interested to hear what you made about this movie. This one stumped me. It is one of my favorite movies, but like foods
Me too.
do with it?
I was thoroughly stumped. So anyone who's new to this show, can I make two recipes inspired by the movie? So playing alongside the screen here is my recipe that I made. I made shepherd's pie, aka cemetery pie, because shepherd's pie is the cemetery of foods. You can see the layers. The taters are the ground. Below, if you make it in a glass dish like I made it in, it looks like you're going below ground. Okay?
The ground beef is like the rocks and the soil.
I was thinking like the dead meat.
Okay.
I think that's creative, okay?
It is. It's a bit of a stretch.
So yeah, shepherd's pie is the cemetery of foods.
Do you mean that's where like, the cemetery in the way that like you use up old stuff that's been in the fridge for a long time?
No, I mean like literally like the look of it.
Okay.
I think you'll never look at shepherd's pie the same way again. You're going to be looking at it and being like, it does look like a cemetery. It's just missing the little tombstones.
What's the blood on top? Is there blood on top? What's that red stuff on top?
It's cheese.
Oh.
But now I wish I did do fake blood on top.
Okay, I thought that you were trying to go with more of like a death theme here.
Okay, so I went with fresh corn. I've made shepherd's pie before. You've made shepherd's pie before. Who hasn't made shepherd's pie before? Normally I like to go in with some frozen veg, but I had some fresh corn on standby, and I want to know if you think, and honey, if you think, corn is the creepiest of the vegetables.
Why? Because it's ready around fall and people put it on their porch. And
Okay. How is it grown? Cornfield.
Okay,
Terrifying during the day, even more terrifying at nighttime.
It's the horror movie vegetable.
It's literally terrifying. Cornfields, like horror things take place in cornfields.
That's the one thing this movie is missing.
Yeah, agreed.
There is no cornfield in this movie. So we are going to be saying a lot of spoilers. If you haven't seen Pet Sematary, don't listen to what we have to say about it.
And if you're like, they're going to be giving out spoilers, guys, it came out in 1989, okay?
We've watched it about 89 times since it first came out.
But more like 189 times.
It's a Stephen King special. Did you know, honey, Church, the cat that has been buried in the pet cemetery that came back,
Super cute.
was played by 7 different cats.
Okay, I was wondering about that because in the 80s and 90s and way back, animals weren't treated the best in movies.
Okay, so I'm glad you brought that up.
So I didn't want to know what had happened.
Yeah, so there's a part in the movie where he injects Church with something.
Yeah.
And that's not, that there was a vet on standby.
Okay.
He just used a tranquilizer. Church, nothing happened to him. He came back just fine. And another big thing that happened in the 80s and 90s, and probably still today, when it came to casting children, they often cast twins because kids can't work that long. So the little boy is not a twin, Gage, because the people that directed the movie were like, he is just so good, we have to have him. So it didn't matter that he wasn't a twin. But the girls are. I'm Ellen Creed.
Okay, most annoying character in the movie.
She's a twin. Bo and Blaze Burdall. That's their names.
I knew Blaze, but I didn't know Bo.
Yeah, they're twins.
Interesting. Also, cool names.
Creepy.
Bo and Blaze.
Twin girl creepy. Yeah.
Twins also super creepy in movies.
Yeah. And this movie was actually inspired by Stephen King's own personal journey with very basically what happened in the movie is almost exactly what happened to Stephen King. So his son, he lived in the country. His son almost died in the road.
Are you
Very
serious?
busy road. His family cat did die in the road. And a lot of the dialogue that was between him and the daughter actually happened between Stephen King and his daughter. And his daughter was like, "If God wants his own cat, let God get his own cat if he wants." Okay, not that at all, but like something like that. Like the daughter was so upset because her cat died, and that exact thing happened to Stephen King.
Creepiest scene, most disturbing scene actually to me, is Gage's funeral. So
Yeah.
again, spoiler alert, Gage, he doesn't make it, okay, in the road. The creepy scene in the funeral when Lewis gets in a tussle with his father-in-law, and then they tussle around, knock over the casket, and then just like a little glimpse of Gage's body, because like the lid of the casket opens. So terrifying.
I know.
This movie, like, we watched this. This movie brings me back to summer 1996. We watched it a gazillion times. I don't know why our parents let us watch this from such a young age.
We got absolutely ruined by the scene with Zelda.
Scariest scene.
The sister. I think that scene ruined everybody. Mm-hmm. That's the scene that ruined everybody.
That scene went way too hard.
It
didn't need to go that hard. It terrified us to our very core. Even now, watching this back for this video, I had to fast forward it. I couldn't.
I absolutely couldn't. Zelda was played by a man, in case you didn't know that. Although that's not subtle. It's not like you're like, that's a 16-year-old girl. That's supposed to be the...
Was it supposed to be a 16-year-old girl?
Yeah, it was supposed to be her sister.
Oh, they did not make that clear. They did not make that clear.
The makeup artist, like the makeup team for this movie, apparently Victor Pascal, the actor that played Victor Pascal, said that no one wanted to sit by him when they were having lunch after he got his makeup when they had half his head taken off.
Okay, but this movie had gore. Gore ain't enough for me in a horror movie. It's just not. It had gore, but it also had like ghost action too. To me, for a real horror movie to be scary, you gotta have some people from the beyond.
Yes.
Okay? And Pascal, is it Pascal?
Victor Pascal.
Pascal, yeah. When he made his appearance, super creepy. One of the first jump scares of the movie.
Okay, so apparently what they were trying to do with Victor Pascal and Judd, he is very sweet. He's a sweet old man that lives across the road. And Victor Pascal seemingly is scary because he's dead and he looks scary. But apparently they wanted to play off those two and be like, Victor looks scary, but he's trying to warn Lewis.
Yeah, he's like a nice ghost.
And Judd is very non-confrontational, but he is trying to like pull Lewis into being like, here's an option, but don't do it. But it's there if you want it.
Yeah, why did he do that?
What?
He knew better.
Yeah.
Don't bury your pets. Don't bury your loved ones in a pet cemetery.
And like my question to Lewis is like, how many times you got to do this, buddy?
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
It didn't work the first 8 times. What are you doing?
When he decided to do it for the wife, I was like, buddy, just let it lie, man.
You're like, do you think the outcome is going to be different? Nice little graveyard of shepherd's pie happening here.
Are you seeing it now?
I'm
Are you seeing that shepherd's pie is the cemetery of foods?
Not really. But I will say, as someone who has read the book as well as seen the movie hundreds and hundreds of times, the book is absolutely phenomenal. You know, they always say the book is better than the movie. It is. The book is amazing.
That's a fact.
And in the book, they talk about so many different foods. Like if you read the book is littered with foods and it makes you want so many foods. But so I was like, oh, if we had just done this to do with the book, I could have thought of so many different things.
Movie-wise, though, this was a stretch, and I'm aware of that, but that's why this show is so cool, because we're getting inspiration wherever it lies in a movie. So I didn't think that when I was watching Pet Sematary, I'd end up with the shepherd's pie, but that's what's so cool about this. So we want to know, what would you make that's inspired by the movie Pet Sematary?
Looks good.
Because we watched this movie when we were little girls, I used to think of Lewis as a hot old man. Lewis is 30 years old. I am 39, okay, currently. So
He's 30?
I still think of him as looking like a hot old man, but that just goes to show you, when you're a kid, you think anything above 28 is old.
Okay, on that note, apparently in the scene that Lewis is sleeping and he's visited in his dreams by Victor Pascal, who is like warning him about stuff, and he rips off the sheets and his feet are all dirty. The first take of that had him not wearing a shirt. And they were like, he looks too hot. Let's clothe him.
Super hot.
So they had to put clothes on him.
Yeah, that guy, super
They were like,
hot.
this is giving the wrong vibe here. We don't need him to look like a dreamboat. We need him to look like a dad.
Too bad. He did look like a dreamboat.
Even with his clothes on, he looked like a dreamboat.
What did you make that was inspired by the movie Pet Sematary?
Remember in the movie, Judd is warning Lewis, do not bury pets in the pet cemetery because the ground is sour. What can I make that's sour?
Okay. See, I love this inspiration.
Lemon cookies on the grill.
Ooh.
Okay.
Okay,
It's
what
a bit
kind
of
of lemon cookies?
lemon almond flour cookies.
Ooh.
So this is, again, a bit of a stretch, but I was thinking, like, let's go with the sour vibe here.
Gluten-free?
Yeah, they actually are gluten-free.
Ooh.
If you have to if you want to 100% make them gluten-free, make sure your oat flour is gluten-free, because
Okay.
sometimes it's not. But yeah, these are gluten-free, oil-free cookies. They turned out absolutely phenomenal. I love a sour cookie.
Obviously, I love a lemon cookie.
I love sour everything.
You didn't want to throw like a blueberry in there?
You could, but I like the texture out of this world. Soft, chewy, not too sweet.
You had me at chewy, man.
Something about the combination of lemon and like sweetness together. They're not super sour, but they're just sour enough. Maybe poppy seed would be good in here.
That's the key to lemon anything. You gotta have a little bit of a sweetness to it.
And every time in that movie when he says the ground is sour, it always made me be like, oh, that's such a weird term. Like, why are you calling it sour?
Yeah, but that in itself terrified me.
I know, me too.
Okay, I have a terrifying line too.
Okay.
Judd asks Ellen, do you know what a graveyard really is? Do you remember when he asked that?
I do. And what did she say?
She's like, and he's like, it's a place where the dead speak with their stones.
Okay.
With their stones and with their markers. And I'm like, that's true. Like, I don't know why in scary movies, cemeteries are terrifying. But in real life, you take a stroll through a cemetery, you've never been to a more serene spot.
Yes. So, as I mentioned, so many things that happened in the movie actually happened to Stephen King. So Stephen King's family cat got killed in the road. His name was Smucky. If you go look back in the scene, one of the scenes where they show the pet cemetery, in the background, there's a stone that says Smucky.
Buddy, amazing.
We missed.
Okay, get me right. What is your grossest scene in the movie? So I've shared my most disturbing. What's your most? Well, let's hear your disturbing.
Ooh, I got
and your
one.
Grossest, because I have one that like still gives me the heebie-jeebies.
It's probably mine.
Okay.
When Gage comes back from the dead and he cuts Judd right in the back of the ankle.
And the mouth. When
Yeah.
he slits his mouth and ankle, I'm like, could they have picked more two gross spots to slit?
Okay, so I had nightmares about Zelda, 100%, and I could not watch it again. I had to skip over that. Like, I was like,
Me
we're
too.
not going down that path today.
As a grown adult, I was like, nope, not
Yeah.
today.
Nope.
Not today, Zelda.
I mean, which, by the way, also, if you're making cookies in the grill, side note, you could use your regular cookie sheet and you don't have to worry about them warping or anything. They bend a little bit like they do in a really hot oven.
That happens in your oven, too.
These cookies are made at 350, so as long as you're dialing in your oven to indirect heat, you're perfectly fine. That was my scariest part. And just Gage in general. Just Gage
Nailed.
flying down the stairs in that one scene.
Casting nailed that kid.
Yeah, that
okay?
kid's awesome.
That kid is like the look of Pet Sematary / Judd.
Yes.
When I think Pet Sematary, I think the kid, I think Judd. Horror movies become like cult classics because they're so bad that they're good. This one like walked that fine line between cheese and like just amazing cinematic glory. But that's why this one does have a cult following. It gets better as time goes on.
I love the music to it too.
I was just gonna say,
Very creepy music.
this is where Key's love of the Ramones kicked in. She
Oh,
heard
okay, that,
Sheena
yeah.
is a punk rocker, and something just lit up inside this girl.
Okay, so Sheena is a punk rocker when the truck driver is about to smash into Gage, unfortunately. Bad timing, but very good song. And, okay, so Stephen King, another interesting fact, Stephen King loved the Ramones. And in the book, referenced the other Ramones songs quite a few times. The Ramones caught wind and created the song Pet Sematary that is played in the credits. During that song, I was like, oh, who is this band? And yes, sparked my favorite band, love of my favorite band of all time. If you're cooking off to one side like that for indirect heat, I do recommend turning around the tray because they say that just for even browning.
They look spectacular. I didn't think that when we signed on to watch Pet Sematary for Film Feast that we'd end up with a shepherd's pie and some lemon cookies. But that's half the fun of this show.
I was gonna make stuffed, you know, like on Halloween when they make stuffed skulls, like pizza skulls. I was gonna do that with like Gage's or Church's head.
I didn't want to do anything that had like a Halloween type vibe.
Same with me.
Like, I wanted to make like a real food. I think a creative take on this movie.
That wasn't quite a stretch.
It's all right. If you want to say creative, if you want to say it was a stretch, it's a little bit of both.
We got there.